So what are the actual consequences of opening doors that were, intentionally designed to stay closed forever?
Oh, man.
Like, we all have this instinct, right? This burning curiosity to look behind the curtain. But what if the curtain isn't there to hide a monster?
Right.
What if it's actually there to protect you from the realization that the house you live in, your entire comfort and reality, was built on someone else's ruin?
It's the ultimate Pandora's box scenario.
Yeah.
And the terrifying part is the permanence of it.
Mm-hmm.
Once you see those foundational cracks in your own history, you really can't unsee them.
No, you can't.
And more importantly, you can't undo the damage just by closing the lid again. The structural integrity of your life is already compromised.
Absolutely. Well, welcome back to our deep dive into the incredible 10-part series based on Dr. Pooyan Ghamari's visionary novel, Fünf Eide.
Yes.
Remember, we left off staring down the barrel of that June 4th financial deadline.
The ticking clock.
Exactly. With Lena holding this mysterious K-reserve code that she inherited from her late mother, Clara.
Yeah.
So today, we are diving straight into the fallout. We are looking at what actually happens when Lena crosses a major ethical and, frankly, legal line to get answers.
Yeah, we're looking at the unmasking of this K-reserve. And we're going to explore how Dr. Pooyan Ghamari uses over 700 years of history to illustrate this very uncomfortable mechanism.
Oh, I'm so uncomfortable.
It really is. It's about how the powerless are systematically engineered to foot the bill for the powerful across centuries.
So let's jump right into that tension at Falk Asset Partners.
Okay, yes, let's do it.
It's early morning. Lena walks into this completely windowless room to meet Viktor.
That room just sounds suffocating.
Right. The silence in the building is absolute, and you get this immediate sense of a psychological siege. They are both drinking black coffee, which it seems like a throwaway detail.
Oh, but it's not.
It's a brilliant tell.
It is, because Viktor points out that Clara, Lena's mother, told him years ago that Lena only drinks her coffee black when she's angry. It's a total power move on his part. He's instantly establishing how intimately he was involved with Clara's secrets.
He's telling her, I know your tells.
Exactly. He's saying, I know your mother better than you did. Lena thinks she's on this righteous quest for truth, but she's walking into a fortified position where the opponent already has her playbook.
Right. And Viktor's defense strategy is fascinating here. He doesn't just flat out refuse to give her the files.
No, he's too smart for that.
He offers an independent review board to, quote, sanitize the information before releasing it.
Sanitize, such a loaded word.
Right. Then he explicitly warns her that if she uses her old laptop access to look at the firm's data room, it will immediately flag his compliance system. It's a giant do not enter sign.
But look at how he does it, though. He drops the breadcrumb.
Yeah.
He casually mentions that her mother was afraid of a woman she could no longer reach.
And Lena guesses the name.
Right, Ruth Zingg.
Yeah.
And when she says it, Viktor just stays silent.
The silence.
His silence confirms it. He is basically handing her the key while explicitly telling her the door is alarmed.
Which is so manipulative.
It is.
Okay.
Which forces us to ask, what is the actual function of a modern compliance system in this world?
Oh, that's a great question.
Is it there to ensure moral behavior? Or is it just there to create a documented paper trail that the firm tried to stop bad actors?
That is such a crucial distinction. It's like corporate camouflage.
Exactly.
And it leads directly to the breach. So Lena goes home completely spun out by this meeting.
Oh yeah, she's reeling.
She stares at her old work laptop. She has this leftover security certificate from her previous law firm.
Which is such a realistic detail.
It really is. It's basically a digital ghost. It's a flaw in the offboarding process that left a back door open.
The mechanics of this breach are so grounded in reality, because it's rarely a hacker in a hoodie typing furiously in a dark room.
Right.
It's usually administrative oversight, a lingering certificate that still authenticates her machine to the firm's servers.
I love how this is described in the text because it feels like she's breaking into a perfectly sterile crime scene.
Yeah.
But the crime isn't, a murder with chalk outlines and blood splatter. It's a quiet, bureaucratic cover-up spanning decades.
Just folders and folders of data.
Right. She's digging through digital folders of transfers, securities, historical deposits until she finds it. And the file name is so mind-numbingly boring.
Oh, what was it again?
It's K-reserve _ abgleich _ 1962 _ 1980.pdf.
The banality of that file name is exactly how real power operates.
Yeah.
True financial obfuscation doesn't look like a villain's lair or a secret vault.
Oh.
It looks like a PDF in a nested subfolder with a title so dry it makes your eyes glaze over.
Seriously.
The goal of financial secrecy isn't to make something invisible. It's to make it so uninteresting that no one bothers to click on it.
Well, she clicks on it.
She does.
And inside this sterile digital room, she finds the smoking gun. It's a 1962 reserve for R.Z. Minor, which is Ruth Zingg.
Yeah.
And below that, there's a note from Clara written in 1980. It says, "File incomplete. Do not contact person again until independent representation is secured."
Wow.
And the second she reads this, the yellow dot blinks on her screen.
The alarm goes off.
The security event registers. The firm calls her immediately to lock her out.
And this is where Victor's motives become incredibly murky.
Oh my gosh.
Because right after the firm locks her out, Victor sends her a private text message. He says, "You did it. Don't delete anything."
Which is wild. Like, what is his game here?
That's the brilliant ambiguity Dr. Pooyan Ghamari sets up. Is he protecting the firm's mandates and ensuring this massive June 4th transaction goes through by creating a paper trail that Lena went rogue?
Maybe.
Or is he actually protecting Lena? Because if she doesn't delete anything, it proves she didn't alter the data, she just viewed it.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
He might be trying to shield her from the radioactive fallout of her own family's history by containing the breach.
Okay, whatever his motive is, that text message is a massive catalyst. Lena's reckless action sets off a chain reaction that forces her to confront the rot inside her own house.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. Because we go straight from this sterile, dead quiet corporate vault into her father Daryush's kitchen in Rehen.
The contrast is so jarring.
It really is. You can practically smell the saffron and frying onions cutting through the tension.
And the damp smell of Lena's wet coat hanging over a chair.
Yes. Daryush is cooking lamb, and when she confronts him, he uses this intricate chemistry metaphor to explain his complicity.
He talks about the physical dignity of a catalyst.
Which is such a weird way to phrase it.
It is, but in chemistry, a catalyst is a substance that speeds up a reaction or makes it happen without being consumed by it.
Right.
The catalyst emerges at the end of the process entirely unchanged. Yeah. Daryush argues that this is the fundamental difference between a tool and a sacrifice.
Okay, but I have to push back on Daryush here.
Please do.
Because isn't that just a highly intellectualized, incredibly convenient excuse for cowardice?
Oh, absolutely.
He took capital from the holding company that was tied to this tainted 1962 reserve. He used that money. Calling himself a catalyst sounds like a way to say, well, I participated in the reaction, but I remained pure.
Yeah, my hands are clean.
Right. You don't walk away clean when you spend stolen money.
You're absolutely right to challenge it, and the text invites that challenge. Daryush is rationalizing, but he also admits the truth of his guilt in his own way.
How so?
He tells Lena that he took the money knowing that her grandfather didn't like to explain things. He knew it was dirty. He tells her, "It is the exact shape of my guilt."
The exact shape of my guilt? Wow.
He understands his complicity perfectly, but he framed it as a necessary chemical reaction to preserve the family's standing.
You know, if you're listening to this, you probably think, oh, I would never take that money. I'd ask the hard questions.
Everyone thinks that.
But Daryush shows us the mechanics of complicity, how easy it is to rationalize looking the other way when the money is paying for your home, your life, your children's future.
And this is where Dr. Pooyan Ghamari brilliantly expands the scope, because Daryush's rationalization is not a modern invention.
No, goes way back.
The narrative immediately pivots us to the historical archives to prove that this exact mechanism of complicity and rationalization has been playing out for centuries.
Right.
We jump back to the year 1415 to a woman named Adelheid in the Aargau region.
This scene is heartbreaking. The Habsburgs have just been ousted from power. These new, supposedly free rulers are taking over.
That's in quotes.
Exactly. And Adelheid's brother is sitting on the edge of a fountain, absolutely terrified because he's lost his physical proof of land ownership in all the chaos.
Then the new scribe arrives. He sets up a table outside the tavern, and he is so friendly.
Almost too friendly.
He uses all the right vocabulary. He talks about rights, protection, oath, and order. The new rulers genuinely believe they are bringing progress and freedom. But Adelheid, watching this polite scribe, realizes a devastating truth.
Which is?
They aren't bringing freedom at all. They are just carrying the exact same subjugation over the river under a new more polite name.
Wait, I want to dig into this parallel.
Sure.
Are we saying that a medieval scribe setting up a table in 1415 is operating on the same frequency as Victor's modern compliance system?
Yes, that's exactly it.
Do we just constantly rebrand economic exploitation as progress or administrative order so that the people getting crushed feel better about paying the price?
That is the core thesis being presented here. Power doesn't change its nature. It just updates its vocabulary.
Wow.
Adelhaide's brother is going to pay the new lords, just like he paid the old ones, only now it's called a civic duty instead of a feudal tax.
The branding changes, the bill is the same.
The mechanism is identical. And to reinforce this, we jump forward again to the years 1515 and 1531, following a mercenary named Martin and the woman who loves him, Clara.
Martin's story is so visceral.
Oh, it's brutal.
He comes back from fighting in the Italian wars. He got his wages, sure, but a sword severed a nerve in his arm. It's just hanging there, utterly useless.
And he lost a friend in a muddy foreign field.
Right. Decades later, when the religious wars of 1531 break out, his own brother tries to recruit him to fight for the new faith.
Yeah.
And Martin just points to his mangled arm. He refuses, essentially saying, I'm not giving my remaining hand for someone else's war, no matter what god you're selling.
And that prompts Clara to write a margin note on an old page that echoes through the entire lineage. She writes, "No faith takes our right to break our own people."
It's terrifying because it highlights the ultimate arrogance of power. Clara realizes that empires and faiths will happily break the bodies of their own citizens and call it righteous.
Yes. And just as Adelhaide's brother and Martin bore the physical costs of ancient power shifts, we see that Ruth Zingg bore the exact same cost for Clara's financial maneuvering in 1962.
It's all connected.
Dariush took the money. Martin took the mercenary wages. Adelhaide's brother paid the scribe. The historical debts just keep accumulating.
So we have to talk about the human cost of that mechanism in the present day.
We do.
Because Lena finally tracks down Ruth Zingg. She goes to an apartment in Kleinbasel, and the environment tells you everything you need to know about Ruth before she even speaks.
Oh, the details here are amazing.
There's a note on the door explicitly barring people with good intentions.
It says so much.
And the apartment smells sharply of oranges and furniture polish. It is a space that is meticulously controlled.
Ruth Zingg is not a passive victim waiting for Lena to come play savior. She is a woman who has spent decades curating exactly who is allowed to enter her reality.
And when we learn her backstory, you totally understand why. Because in 1962, when she was 14 years old, Ruth worked in this so-called educational facility.
Educational.
Right. Let's be clear about the mechanics of what this actually was. It was a sweatshop, legally sanctioned and disguised as a reform school. She was given an apron, a place to sleep, and was treated as if she were completely invisible. People would stand in the same room and talk about her as if she were a piece of furniture.
And this is where we see the true, chilling nature of Clara's intervention.
Yeah, this part is dark.
Clara, Lena's mother, found out about this sweatshop and the money owed to Ruth. But she didn't expose the facility.
No.
She didn't hand Ruth the massive financial reserve that was rightfully hers. Instead, Clara arranged for a tiny, polite, sanitized pension to be paid out.
Let's unpack the how of that for a second. How did institutions in the 60s legally mask true wealth from vulnerable populations like that?
It was done through paternalistic trust structures. The legal and financial systems were basically designed around the assumption that someone like Ruth, a ward of the state, a laborer, could not handle a lump sum of capital.
Oh, how convenient for them.
Exactly. So, wealth managers like Clara could legally set up trust structures that paid out a meager allowance. It kept the principal sum intact, earning interest for the holding company, while giving the appearance of doing a good deed.
Wow.
It's financial subjugation masked as charity.
It is devastating cruelty masked as good intentions. Like, Clara wasn't overtly evil. She wasn't physically beating Ruth.
No.
But she weaponized time and polite silence. She essentially played God, deciding what version of reality Ruth was allowed to live in.
And that kind of polite silence traps a victim just as effectively as the locks on the doors of that 1962 sweatshop.
And Ruth understands this perfectly. She tells Lena, Clara was not cruel. That is the annoying part.
That quote just hits hard.
I learned that with a good word, you can stay silent just as long as with a bad one.
Yeah.
And she flat out refuses Lena's offer to bring her the secretive files. She tells Lena, I don't want to be made into a story.
She knows exactly what Lena's doing.
She knows Lena's looking for absolution, and Ruth refuses to be the instrument that cleanses Lena's inherited guilt.
Which introduces us to Mara, Ruth's daughter. sitting there fiercely protecting her mother in these oversized reading glasses. And Mara is such a crucial counterweight to Lena in this story.
She really is. What is her role here?
Well, Mara's actual profession is organizing estates and inheritances. She deals in the mundane, bureaucratic mess of death every single day.
Right.
She tells Lena that inheriting history is rarely a romantic quest for truth. It's usually just cleaning up someone else's mess.
Yeah.
Mara understands the legal mechanics that Lena's blindly blundering through.
And Mara drops a massive clue that blows the whole thing wide open. She reveals that on June 4th, 1980...
Is that June 4th date again?
Tying the past right back to Lena's present deadline.
No.
On that date, Clara wrote a letter to a woman named E. Lowy. Clara asks this E. Lowy to keep something safe.
And Mara's advice to Lena here is profound. She says, if you're searching, don't just look for where the money went. Look for what was hidden. Look for the mechanism of the cover-up.
This revelation just sends Lena completely spiraling. She realizes everything she knows is built on controlled narratives.
Even her own family history.
Exactly. And this leads directly to the archives in Rapperswil, Jonah, where the foundational myth of her entire family is systematically shattered.
I love the setting for this scene.
It's so good.
Lena meets with the archivist Eva Sen near the lake. You have the smell of frying oil from a nearby stand, the scent of algae from the water, the cold metal of the railings.
Yeah.
It's a very grounding, almost mundane, gritty setting for an earth-shattering revelation.
Because Lena brings this sacred family relic. It's a wooden splinter matrix that supposedly dates back to the year 1291.
Right, the origin story.
It's the proof that her family had a bridge, that they had this singular, heroic origin story tied to the founding of the region.
And Eva Sen, with the cold, calm precision of a trained archivist, completely dismantles the illusion.
Just takes it apart.
She analyzes the matrix and proves it's nothing more than a standard merchant's trademark. It's not a noble seal. Furthermore, she points out the historical reality. There was no Grand Bridge in 1291. It structurally didn't exist then. The family myth is a convenient, fabricated lie.
And Sen says this line that I think really encapsulates the entire deep dive. She says, 2 pieces of wood are more complicated than one. 2 stories, too.
That's a great line.
Why is that so dangerous? Like, how does a family survive when the very myth that gives them their identity is proven to be a total fabrication?
Because human psychology, especially when it's tied to wealth, prefers a clean, simple origin story over the messy, painful truth.
Yeah, we want the simple version.
Right. A singular, heroic origin, like building a noble bridge in 1291, is easy to pass down. It justifies the wealth. It justifies the status. He says, we earned this through nobility.
Right.
But when you introduce 2 stories, when the truth involves 1962 sweatshops, silent complicity, and stolen pensions, the cognitive dissonance is just too much.
You can't reconcile it.
Exactly. Families survive by violently protecting the simple lie and burying the complex truth.
And we see the psychological toll of that protection crumbling in real time. Because after the archive, Lena meets Viktor at a bakery on the Rhine.
This scene is so tense.
You've got this haunting little visual of a child pressing their forehead against the glass display of poppy seed rolls, completely oblivious, while Lena and Viktor have this incredibly tense, quiet standoff.
Yeah.
Viktor slides a photograph across the table. It's a picture of himself and Clara in a library years ago. And on the back, Clara had written an instruction.
Which was?
Don't save. Listen first.
It's a profound admission of failure.
Yeah.
Viktor admits that both he and Dariush failed to follow Clara's final instruction. When things got messy, their instinct, the instinct of the powerful, was to control, to manage, to save the institution and the family name.
Right, preserve the asset.
They tried to fix it without ever actually listening to the victims, like Ruth Zingg.
They managed the liability instead of addressing the humanity.
That's exactly what they did.
But Viktor's admission, as validating as it is, it doesn't give Lena the tangible answer she needs right now. They part ways, and Lena is left standing there when she receives a cliffhanger of a text message from an unknown number.
Oh, this text.
It says, Louis is dead but left a suitcase. Ask the man who learned to stay silent.
The man who learned to stay silent. All the vectors are converging here.
They really are.
This clearly points back to Dariush, her father, the self-proclaimed catalyst.
Yep.
It implies that the deepest rot isn't just buried in the corporate servers of Falk Rhine Asset Partners or locked away in medieval archives from 1415. The final piece of the puzzle is sitting at a kitchen table in Rien, smelling of saffron.
So As we pull back and look at the vast expanse of what we've covered today, I mean, from digital compliance systems to medieval scribes, from sweatshops to shattered origin myths.
It's a lot.
What is the ultimate takeaway here regarding how power operates?
The central insight Dr. Pooyan Ghamari is driving home is that historical debts cannot be settled by simply shutting a door.
Right.
Whether it's the debt incurred by Adelhaide's brother in 1415 paying for freedom, Martin the mercenary losing his arm for a shifting border in 1515, or the silent theft of Ruth Zingg's youth in 1962. You cannot hide a file in a data room, offer a sanitized pension, and call the ledger balanced.
Because silence isn't a solution. Silence is just a debt accumulating interest in the dark.
Exactly.
Clara thought she could pause time in 1980 by hiding the file and controlling the narrative. Victor thought he could manage the fallout with compliance systems. Dariush thought he could act as a neutral catalyst, completely untouched by the reaction.
But the past always demands a reckoning.
It does.
It inevitably comes due. And the tragedy is that the powerless, the Ruth Zinggs of the world, are the ones who carry the physical and emotional scars for decades, while the powerful sit in windowless rooms debating the ethics of their own cover-ups.
It is incredibly heavy, but understanding these mechanisms is so necessary. And it actually sets up our next deep dive perfectly.
Oh, it really does.
Because next time we are pivoting to something called the League of Losers.
Sounds ominous.
Very. We are going to investigate a character named Elias and his dark strategy of leveraging war for profit. We'll see how this family's toxic inheritance doesn't just ruin lives in small apartments in Kleinbossel, but actually bleeds into the broader geopolitical landscape.
We are pulling the lens back from family secrets to global mechanics.
Yeah.
It's going to get much darker before it gets lighter.
I cannot wait to tear into that. But before we go, I want to leave you, the listener, with a thought to mull over. We've talked today about the mechanisms of complicity and the consequences of opening doors designed to stay closed.
Right.
But think about your own foundation. If you discovered tomorrow that your own family's success, your comfort, your entire reality was built on a single polite lie told decades ago.
A lie that ruins someone else.
Exactly. Would you be the one to open the door, knowing it would burn your house to the ground? Or would you convince yourself you were just a catalyst and learn to stay silent? Think about it. We'll see you next time.